Hello, it's 9 p.m. in Art. This time to English New Edition for tonight headlines. So we have the message of solidarity and compassion from the head of state to his Pakistani counterpart. For the international scene, floods in Pakistan, nearly 900 health facilities damaged according to the World Health Organization. Welcome to our newsroom, the message of solidarity and compassion from the President of the Republic to his Pakistani counterpart, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, in a message sent on Wednesday to his Pakistani counterpart, Mr. Arif Alvi, expressed his compassion and solidarity with the brotherly people of Pakistan under the continuous blow of several months of highly damaging natural disaster, which has claimed the lives of about 1,200 people, in addition to destroying large areas of agricultural land and other infrastructure vital to the economy of that country. The people and government join me in expressing their sympathy and compassion to the sister nation of Pakistan in the terrible ordeal of this tragedy. President Guelleh wrote in the telegram sent to his counterpart Arif Alvi, "I wish for a prompt end to this unbearable tragedy that has befallen the sister nations of Pakistan." He continued, relaying his faith in Pakistan's ability to quickly overcome the painful and multifaceted consequences caused by the devastating floods. Pakistan floods, nearly 900 health facilities damaged. World Health Organization as an international efforts intensify to help tens of millions of Pakistanis affected by the relentless monsoon rains since June. Nearly 900 health facilities have been damaged in the country. The World Health Organization announced Wednesday, according to the UN Global Health Agency, health facilities have been severely affected. At least 888 health facilities have been damaged in the countries, of which 180 are completely damaged, according to a count compiled by WHO on August 28, 2022. In this regard, the WHO cites the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic, but also the cholera, typhoon, and measles and HIV/AIDS epidemic. Even before the current floods, there was a significant disparity in an access to health services between rural and urban areas, WHO said. As part of his working visit in the Egyptian capital, the Minister of Energy in charge of natural resources, Younis Ali Gedi, and his delegations were received on the second day by Dr. Tariq Mullah, Minister of Oil and Mineral Resources. Our work programs was jointly decided, the training part of which will be held in Djibouti in the afternoon. The Djibouti delegations meet with the executive directors of RECRE, Regional Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency, organizers of the event. Dr. Jamad El-Kharaz, in the presence of the technical directors, Dr. Majid Muhammad, and an expert in renewable energy. Dr. Jamad said that his organization is willing to fully support the largest scale use of the renewable energy in Djibouti. Dr. Majid said for his part that it is quite feasible to involve the private sectors in the implementation of the Djibouti's energy policy through an advocacy developed by RECRE. The Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, received this morning at the Hotel of Officers Hassan Basoma, Hassan, General Michael Langley, new commanders of AFRICOM in Djibouti. This visit is the first one since he took office. Is an opportunity to meet the high military command of the Djiboutian Armed Forces. This visit expands the historical and permanent partnership between the two armed forces. During this reception, some high-ranking officers took part in the visit. New AFRICOM commanders, Chief of the Defense Staff General Tahir Ali Mohammed, Colonel Major Mohammed Kayad Guelleh, Deputy Chief of the Defense Staff, and some high-ranking officers of the Djiboutian Army. In addition, General Michael Langley first honored the warm welcome offered by his counterpart, the Chief of the General Staff of Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, and thanked for sacrificing. commanders praised the historic friendship between the two friendly and brotherly countries and promised to expand during his tenure to consolidate, to lead the special and bilateral relationship between the two nations. The Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, received General Michael Langley, new commander of AFRICOM in Djibouti. Some high-ranking officers took part in this visit of the new AFRICOM commanders, General and the Chief of the Defense Staff, General Tahiru Ali Muhammad, the Colonel Major Muhammad Qayad Gele, and Deputy Chief of the Defense Staff, and some high-ranking officers of the Djiboutian Army. The Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces thanked his counterpart for his visit and pledged to support his tasks and facilitate all his efforts during his tenure as a head of these institutions. During his speech, General Michael Langley stressed that the Republic of Djibouti is the gateway of Africa as its stability. Listen for more details.
Significance of that signifies the partnership between the Republic of Djibouti and the United States in building a defense relationship that will be lasting. Our relationship started at the opening of the century. And you asked me, after I said that, thank you for your contributions because you were part of the history of the relations between the United States and Djibouti. I am a student of history, but sometimes when we read the history in the books, it doesn't tell the whole story. You told the rest of the story today. We are strategic partners today against Al-Shabaab. From the government of the United States and Congress and the Pentagon well know you do that persistent in helping the Somalis establish stability and security in their country. And at the same time, concurrently, you're strengthening your defense forces. With U.S. forces, we're working together to establish and strengthen.
In his speech, the general first expressed his warm congratulations for the appointment as a commander of AFRICOM since August 9, 2022. The Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, thanked the choice of General Michael Langley to have chosen his first visit to Djibouti. This testifies to the strategic importance that the Republic of Djibouti represents for the USA. As a reminder, the Chief of the General Staff recalled that the Republic was the first nation to have supported the event of September 11 by an attack Al-Qaeda and was one of the first allies to support the USA in the fight against terrorism. Hence, the allocations of Camp Lemonnier of the ADF to the U.S. forces in 2002. To date, the CTF is the only permanent military base, the largest of the USA on the African continent. Moreover, the presence of our territory of the forces of the great powers of the world within the framework of the fight against the plague is harmful to the international security, underlines well the political opening of the Republic of Djibouti. Also, we contribute actively to the ATMIS. We commit to ATMIS a strength of 3,000 soldiers since 2011. 2,000 are deployed in the sectors of Hiran, Galmudug, divided between Beledweyne, Bulde, Jalalakhsi, and Dusamareb. And the remaining 1,000 are regrouped and trained each year at Mariama camp, awaiting their deployment for the annual rotations. As such, we thank the U.S. forces for their support of our missions in ATMIS. The first meeting between the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces and the new AFRICOM commanders ended with the exchanges of gifts and family photos.
abur iyo masbaano eedaad ku iman karo.
The Egyptian Agency for the Promotions of the Cultures of the Ministry of Youth and Culture began this morning a program of 2 open days for the public. According to the Director General of NPC, Mohammed Hussein Douale, the objective of the program is to make known the public and especially the Egyptian youth the works and monuments of the Department of the Memorial Dam of Djibouti, EGA, and its program from where to transmit and teach the young generations the history of the Dam of Djibouti. Thus, at the very busy first hours of the day, a public of young people from the CDC of the popular district of the capital came in great numbers to discover the buildings which compose the memorial and to benefit from the occasions. On their arrival, the visitors were welcomed by the Director General of the NPC, Mohammed Hussein Douale, and the head of the Memorial Department, Ahmed Ibrahim Hag, and his team. It was a very busy day where each group had to visit a different part of the memorial, namely the National Library, the exhibition room, the projection room, but also on the monumental works where once was erected one of the 3 passages of the Iron Curtain. Under the guidance of the head of the department of the memorial, Ahmed Ibrahim Hag, the guided towers allowed young visitors to discover the images, documents, works, archives, and audiovisual testimony relating to the history of the dam. The Director General of the NPC, Mohammed Hussein Douale, said that these programs of 2 open days for the public, for his part, more known under the name of the Wall of Shame. The dam is a question that has long been a symbol of atrocity committed by the colonizers against the indigenous population of what was. The Community Development Center of Obok hosted on Wednesday 31 the final of the Tournament of Traditional Games, which is part of the summer activities launched a few weeks ago by the Ministers of Youth and Culture, His Excellency Dr. Hibo Mumin Asowe, chaired by the Regional Deputy Director Kamil Dini, and the competition brought together several young people from different localities in the regions of Obok, such as Wadi, Korangar, and it was honored by the presence of many representatives of the regions of Obok, not also the presence of the customary and religious authority of the region. After handing over the winners of the regional deputy directors of the Ministry of Youth, of Cultures and Obok, Kamil Dini stressed the importance of this intra-regional and inter-regional tournament in the safeguarding of traditional games through competitions, while encouraging young people to practice more these traditional games for their perpetuations. The Community Development Center of Ali Sabi hosted yesterday morning the final of the first intra-regional and inter-regional traditional games tournament for the benefit of young people during this period of school vacations. The competition brought together several young people from different neighborhoods and localities of the regions of Ali Sabi. The closing ceremony saw the participation of the prefect of the region, Musa Adan Migane, the president of the regional council of Ali Sabi, Sharmaki Hassan Allale, the deputy of the region is Harun Hassan Gedi, and the deputy regional directors of the Ministry of Youth and Cultures in Ali Sabih, Ms. Aisha Nuhu, are included in the programs during the competitions of traditional games, Bun and traditional wrestling, among others, valued as ancestral cultural heritage. Note that the localities of the Aspio has won the majority of trophies. For the international scene, northern Nigeria faces deadly floods. The river is located in Maiduguri in northern Nigeria is at an unusual high level. The fault of the heavy weather, which since the beginning of the rainy season has caused major flooding. Several people have died. The material damage is also considerable. Some inhabitants have lost everything. I no longer have a house. It was destroyed by the flood. As you can see, I sleep here, and you can see how with my clothes are, says Zainabu Saleh. Of course, these waters came with the considerable powers. In this area alone, it destroyed more than 30 houses and killed many people, especially children, says Husseima Muhammad. Ukraine inspectors of the EIA expected this Thursday at the Zaporizhzhia power plant, avoiding nuclear disasters at the Zaporizhzhia power plant in the clear objectives of the International Agency for Nuclear and inspectors who came to Ukraine. The delegation is of 40 people led by Raffaello Grossi, Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, arrived in the city of Zaporizhzhia. A dangerous mission and whose duration remains uncertain. The missions will take a few days, and if we are able to establish a permanent presence and rather a continuous presence, then it will be extended by this first segment, so to speak, will take a few days, he said. The inspectors are expected to arrive at the plants located 120 kilometers by road from the town of Zaporizhzhia. The International Agency for Atomic says it has received safety guarantee from the Russian and Ukrainian authorities last week. The plant was briefly disconnected from the power grid for the first time in its history after power lines were damaged. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.